we're here today. We wanted to talk to you a little bit about another shoulder condition. Last week we talked about winging scapula. This time I want to talk to you about downward rotation. Okay, so we've got Andy here, who's our swimming and triathlete specialist, and Andy hasn't actually got a too obvious downward rotation on his left scap, but I'm just going to use him as my model anyway. So Andy, if you just turn around and face that way. So what we're talking about here is downward rotation. So basically, Andy's going to lift above his head. So for instance, lift your hands above your head for me, Andy. You just feel his scapula just moving up into upward rotation and back down again, and then down. But Andy's scapula sit more or less as they should be. Okay. If you get a downward rotation, now you can get it at either side or both sides. Okay. If you get a downward rotation, this one will just sit in a little bit tighter, a little bit further in there than it should do. Okay. And it's that we're going to have a look at. What you'll feel if you get that is you get the shooting pain up through the neck and around the front of the neck through here, okay? Particularly if you're lifting above your head, what you'll tend to find is that you'll overcompensate, and as you're lifting above your head, the side that you're tight on will start to overcompensate and lean over away from that side, okay? So you get this kind of band of tightness coming up through here in the left scap. As well as that, you'll pick up triggers all the way through the medial border of your scapula. So what we're going to do, basically what's happening here is your downward rotators are dominating your upward rotators. Now you're going to ask, what are your downward rotators? So the first thing we want to do, we want to switch off your downward rotators, then we switch on your upward rotator, okay? Downward rotators are basically rhomboid major, which just sits in here like that. A lot of people think because it retracts your scapula, and most people have protracted scapula, that just really hammering that is really going to get great posture. Does in most cases, but we don't want to overdo it and then send people into downward rotation. Okay, so the first thing we're going to look at is we're going to switch off one of the downward rotators, and the one we're going to look at first is the left scap. Okay, so what we're going to do here is a salute stretch with Andy. Okay, so Andy, you just want to bring your left hand up the wall. So Andy's feet are probably about a foot to 6 inches away from the wall. I want Andy to push down and into the wall, so he's hitting the target that's about 2 inches behind the wall. I want you to just pull your scapula down your back, Andy. You're going to bring your right hand over the top, and I want you to look underneath this armpit. Okay? And what you'll feel if you're doing it right, just lighting up this area of your neck. Okay, we're going to hold that for 30 seconds. Okay? Okay? So next up of the downward rotators I'm going to hit is rhomboid major. Andy's got a nice shirt on here where the eye of the fish is about in the right spot and just below that. So it's that area that we're looking for, just inside your scap there. What we're going to do is we're going to stick this ball into it and then pull our arms forward just to stretch out. Okay, so you're just going to have a lie back for me, mate. I'm just going to place that one just underneath there. Okay, that's got you. Just roll back a little bit for me, Andy. And we're just going to round our spine out forward, okay? And all we're going to do is just sit on that for about 30 to 60 seconds.
Go.
So next up, another stretch for your rhomboids. This time, hopefully we'll leave a little bit to the imagination that Andy's got his tights on here. But what we're going to do is in straddle, okay? We're going to turn the feet in slightly. Okay, Andy's going to reach over here with his left hand and grab the outside of his shin. Okay, if you can't reach right down here, somewhere further up will be fine as well, but this is optimal. I'm going to fix that hand, and what I want Andy to do, I want him to send this shoulder towards the toe, and then from there I want to send this elbow towards the floor, just to open up all of this area. I'm going to hold that for 30 to 60 seconds.
Go.
So now you've switched off your downward rotators on your shoulder girdle. Next up, what we're going to do is activate your upward rotators. And for that one, what we're going to try and look at is trying to activate your subscap. Okay, so Andy, what I'm going to ask him to do is just a shoulder pressing action here. But what I'm going to do, pick up this resistance band and just pull him backwards. I want him to be able to see his elbows through the peripheral vision. Okay, I'm going to go for around 10 reps just to activate his subscap.